Awesome. Okay. Give people another minute. I'm gonna give people another minute and then we'll start. Give them a chance to sign on. Hello. Jomo, I think I'm going to have you go second because somebody requested to go first. So, do you want to go second? Is that okay? Hey, Domer. Can you guys hear me okay? You can type in the comment box if you can't. Good. Okay. So, let's see. Got another minute. Awesome. So I have somebody going first, and then Jomo, you can go second. Dilmer, do you want to go third? Hi, Dwight. So let me know if the order I'm telling you guys is okay. Jonathan's not on yet, but Jonathan is going to go first. Then Jomo will be second. Dilmer can be third. Dwight, you can be fourth. I'm just now going in order of who signed on. If anybody has an obligation that they need to go to, just let me know and I'll switch you around. So just let me know. Or if something changes as I'm interviewing, just feel free to put it in the comment section that you're that you need to go. Hi, Jonathan. Welcome. Okay, so hello everybody. This is how it's going to go. I'm going to be linking in the people who are going to be interviewed, and they'll be on for about 10 minutes, and then they will sign off, and then the next person will join. All of these professionals are coaches or fitness professionals or athletes, and they're going to give their feedback on how home workouts have been affecting them, either in a good way or a bad way, how they're adjusting. They're going to give you some advice. I'll introduce them a little bit, and then I'll let them tell you about themselves, and then we'll get into the questions. So if you have bad service, Dwight? If anybody cannot hear me throughout this, or if you can't hear the person on the other end, just type in the comment section so that way we know that we can't hear you, so we can try to make an adjustment if possible. So I'm going to start off with Jonathan. Let's see. And Jonathan, I'm adding you. It's waiting to connect. Hello.
Hello.
How are you?
Very good. I'm just going to grab my charger so I can sit.
Awesome. Good idea.
Okay.
How are you today?
I'm doing very well. I'm actually at the center right now.
Ah, nice.
Which is where I actually still come every day to keep my sanity.
It's important. And very necessary now.
Good to be here. Good to see you.
Good to see you too. I'm glad you're doing well and that you have a place to go to.
Thank
Awesome.
you.
So I'll give you a moment to let everybody know a little bit about yourself, what you do. If you want to provide any Instagram contacts or Facebook contacts for so they can reach out to you later on, feel free to send them a message and let them know here. So,
Okay. Thank you. So my name is Jonathan Martinez, and I'm the manager of Westchester Body and Brain. And this facility has been here for a little over 20 years now, and very cool. We were voted as 2020's Westchester's best yoga studio,
nice.
which is very exciting, which is very good news. I've been doing this practice since 2011, but I've been an athlete my entire life in martial arts and football, basketball, baseball, all those kind of things. Um, and I dedicated my time and my space to helping people not just become healthier physically, but um, also not even healthier emotionally, but to elevate their state of existence and how they view life.
Right.
So that's mostly what I dedicated all of this time and work to.
It all comes together.
Yeah, I feel people need to understand that a lot of the things that they're creating in their life is through their own thoughts and belief systems. And of course, it's reinforced by society, but we have an active choice to decide which direction in our life we'd like to go.
Right.
So that's what I'm all about, and that's what this practice is all about.
That's awesome. Yeah, I think what Jonathan does is awesome. He uh, is very good at not only helping you with any physical goals that you may have, but also he attacks your mental and emotional state as well, which I think a lot of people overlook. So you guys are like you do a great job of being patient and making sure you really listen to the person you're working with, and you reflect that you understood what they said by the I guess the recommendations that you give. Like you can tell, okay, he listened to me, he knows exactly what I need, he's understanding, and he's willing to help me. So you do a very good job of that.
It's really it's like if you are a good friend to somebody, then you listen to them and then you try to go at their speed to help them. So
Yeah.
I, a lot of the times us as professionals, or especially people who are professionals who are also teachers,
Yeah.
they want to teach without listening. So
Yep.
I mean,
We're all
I
guilty
was
of it.
yeah, I mean I was like that for so many years because I'm basically geeking out on what I love so much, but not realizing people aren't as interested as I am to
Yeah, sometimes you're like, oh,
about
it's not for you, fine.
yeah. So I think we
Awesome.
need to be patient.
Yeah. Well, you've definitely done a very good job of that.
Mm,
So I'll start off with the first question.
thank you.
How has your workout routine changed since everything's been closed? Like I see that you're at your center now, so I'm guessing that you didn't have to make too many adjustments, but what has changed since all this has shut down?
Mostly we took all our classes online. I mean, like every other place, every other facility, by mid-March, I think late March, we had to close. So we just basically took the entire schedule and put it online and started running the classes right away, through Zoom. So people logged in right away. We had our
Nice.
our daily attendance is very much close to what it is when people were coming physically, which
That's
is really
awesome.
good. Yeah, it's really good. So the routine itself, one thing that I realized that has changed, the most dramatic changes in the structure of teaching
Yeah.
is because you're not in front of the people and you have a large group of people in front of you that you have to adjust their postures or things like this. The class itself, my own personal feeling, became so much easier but more profound and in depth, if that makes
Interesting.
sense. So even I don't play music in the background like I used to. It just really
Yeah.
it's just my voice and then
I'm sure
because
it
I
has its
re-
awesome moments.
yeah, because I really want to focus on letting them feel. Because also, what we don't recognize is that this person, although I'm looking at many people, this person is only looking at me. So
Yeah.
it's literally like they're by themselves at home. They're
Right.
so much more distracted. It's right away they lose awareness, and then I feel energy is that much more scattered. So
Yeah.
in order to let them bring their awareness into themselves, it cannot be music and me playing at the same time that they're also listening to what's going on in their house.
Too much stimulation.
Too much stimulation. So I reduced the amount of stimulation by actually cutting off the music, reducing the speed of my flow,
Hmm.
and focusing on very detailed, specific conditions and cases that people have shared with me that they're struggling with.
That's awesome. It sounds like you made some adjustments pretty quickly.
Hmm. I was
Good.
ready for this.
Yeah. You're like, I got fine.
I predicted.
You predicted. Well, yeah. That's good though. I'm really glad to hear that you had like a majority of your customers come back and that like you figured out a way to accommodate them and you found out quickly what was working, what wasn't working. Because it is very hard, I'm sure, especially for when you are a hands-on person to be able to adjust and work with your customers and your clients and like really interact with them and feel what they're feeling when it's virtual. Because like you can see what they're doing, but it's not the same as being in person. But when you make adjustments, you can do as best as you can.
That's
So
right.
awesome. So I'm guessing that was kind of part of this question too, but what is the biggest challenge you've been facing during these adjustments? I guess what would be the having to cut out simulation and figure out how to keep the client engaged?
Well, those are technical things, and of course, like student engagement is always an issue, but it's not necessarily so much different because whether they're here or there, their level of focus is their level of focus. But it's mostly letting them, I would probably say the biggest challenge is letting people commit to themselves or to the practice, as opposed to when people were coming in person. I can help somebody who wants, let's say somebody wants to lose 15 pounds, 20 pounds, and then I say this is going to take you about 3 to 6 months, so make that amount of commitment for yourself, and then they can make that commitment pretty easily. Most people do. But since we put everything online, if you tell someone, hey, like you should train for 3 to 6 months, same thing, same form of like speaking, but they're a lot less likely to commit. And I don't think it's because it's online, but I just feel there's so much uncertainty in people's heart these days that they have no idea what's going on. And even if they have income to spend, there's so much fear of loss that people are forgetting the actions that they need to take to gain what they want out of this. Because I think this is a great opportunity, but people focusing on loss makes it very difficult to guide hopes and dreams.
Right.
I would say that that is one of the most difficult things, is to keep people from falling back into the pattern of consistently thinking in a negative way.
Right.
Instead of thinking.
Hard, especially when like if you constantly are dealing with something negative, if they're always hearing negative news on social media, the TV, whatever, if it's always something scary, like it's hard for a lot of people, I think, to adjust their way of thinking when it's constant negativity being thrown in their face. So it takes a lot of practice and discipline, and I'm sure it's a lot harder now because if you're not really around other people to help bring that out of you, it's even more of you just battling yourself. So I'm sure that's a hard thing to adjust.
Right, because also, there's no hands-on. Like if someone's in front of you, you can literally hold them and say, hey, it's going to be okay.
Yeah.
And then they can feel your warmth from your presence. Online, it's so cold. And then unless they have a sense to feel, even beyond that screen, they wouldn't have that sense to know where I'm coming from.
Right.
I can feel them through the screen, like how I can feel you, but if you don't have that sense to do it towards me, it would just always be one way.
Yeah.
So that's really challenging. There's nothing tangible to hold on to make that person to commit, and not commit to me or practice, but commit to themselves.
Right.
So that is really challenging. So, but I think I figured it out.
Good. Yeah, I can imagine. So then what is your favorite, or what do you like most about having to do home workouts or workouts by yourself there? Like what's a positive part for you?
This is probably the first. I feel guilty. I think most people like me will feel very guilty to say this. But it's like a vacation in a way.
Yeah. Yeah. They got a break from society and people and
I didn't realize how much energy I was using until I didn't have to physically see people anymore. Like I don't have to physically be in front of 60 to 100 people a day and then hands-on touching people every single day.
Right.
So after within the first week, I felt really strange. But then after that, I felt actually my mind was so busy because it's so used to doing 100,000 things at once that now it's literally cut in half, and there's no one to attend to in person. So I feel very refreshed and energized from from
Yeah.
having this.
Well, yeah, especially in your field, you're feeding, and you're like, it's more like an empath. I can't say the word,
Mm.
but like you're giving off energy to people, and you're feeding and taking in their energies, and I'm sure because you're dealing with a whole bunch of ups and downs of negatives and sad, good, like it's so variable and volatile that all that energy you're sucking it in all day every day, and you're just used to it because you're on automatic pilot, and that's just what you do, and you're going and you're going, and then all of a sudden it shuts off, and you're like, whoa. Your body's just like, now you can attend to yourself, and it probably just took a minute to adjust, but
Right.
it's definitely scary.
It's really like it's the workaholics retreat.
Yes.
People
Yes.
who never stop. People who never stopped, even if, even with sickness and injury, they didn't stop. And then this coronavirus made people stop and made them reflect that
Forcing them.
material and all these things that they relied on for their security do not hold weight anymore.
Yeah.
It doesn't
Yeah.
matter. So they have to check themselves. It gave me an opportunity to check myself. What am I focusing on? And I see that it people who are usually peaceful and calm are so scattered and then, nervous, because
Right.
now all the security, the money doesn't matter. Nothing matters. Whatever they were holding on to that gave them security is gone. Money cannot save you. Your house cannot save you. Your friends or family cannot save you. So then if you didn't prepare your mind to be okay with having nothing or being in this kind of situation, then you're going to have a lot of fear, a lot of doubts, a lot of worries, even if you're actually totally safe.
Yeah. I'm noticing a lot of people are definitely having a hard time adjusting. They're figuring out, oh, I don't need to, like, if you're stuck home, you don't need to do your hair, you don't need to do your makeup, you don't need to dress fancy and go to the mall and buy all these things. You don't need all that materialistic stuff that like makes you present well. And like we all like nice things, but it's like, look at, it's showing you what's valuable, what's not valuable. It's like you really don't need that. Like you just need to make sure you're healthy and safe and have food and shelter and stability. And there's pros and cons to everything, of course, but I'm sure there's a lot of good that can come out of this. It's forcing people to self-reflect and take a step back and like really deal with themselves. So that's definitely something good that's coming out of it.
Yes, I'm excited for people.
Yeah. So, next question. When the gyms do open back up, are you going to get right back into like it never happened? Or are you going to kind of make some adjustments or both? What are you thinking?
I think, I'm not sure. I know that these type of facilities are like a phase 4 project, will be the last kind of groups to open. Yeah. I'm ready to open today. I'm willing to accept people, which is okay. I think people will take some time to adjust, and I think our center, the attendance will be very, very low, even if we do reopen. But I am ready to open up and then, invite people, and I think that's exactly what people need. I think that these kind of facilities should be part of essential workers when it comes to mental health management and healing. So I'm ready, and then I'm more sorry, someone called me.
Oh, it's okay. I was like, oh no, it's in my phone dying. That's good then. Like,
yeah, so that's what I feel. I feel like,
like,
yeah. Anyway, I'm ready. Let's get this whole thing passing, and then I believe it'll be one of many steps for us to understand how we can come together and work through this kind of situation better for the future.
right. I think they need to definitely give more to mental health. They don't address that enough, especially nowadays.
It's
have
number one.
Do you have any advice for the viewers before we switch over?
Yes, take class. One thing that I realized, really, whether something is free or not, people are not willing to get out of their they're not willing to change their habits. They're stuck in the habit. I can say that since this quarantine started, I've offered every single bit of training for free. I've been posting it actively every single day. I've been talking about it. I have, thousands of friends, and these are people that know me. It's not people that, just follow me on Instagram. These are people who've met me, who've known me, who said, I want to train with you and all these things. But when the opportunity arises, they are come to face with their own habits of lacking action. Yeah. And whatever we choose to create in our life, we have to take action actively to creating that and pursuing that. If you want to be healthy, but you spend 17 hours of your day not focusing on benefiting your health, then you're not going to get healthier. And that's something that people need to understand and then take action. So this is a perfect opportunity to grow in fields that you never had the chance to grow. I think I've taken up 2 or 3 studies in 2 months, and I feel a sense of expertise in many things because I just diligently studied it on a regular basis through these 2 months.
Right.
So I feel people really have to take ownership instead of sitting in fear. Just say, you know what, this is what I want to create. What do I need to do to create it? Here's the plan. Take action, and if it doesn't work, plan again. And then keep doing this. Yes, and this is the perfect time to do it, because if you don't have no money, if you lost your job and you're sitting at home complaining, that's not going to help. So just like do and study what you want to do, and then figure out how to make money doing that thing. This is an era that we're entering that's going to change the market for good. And I think it's going to be good for people to get out of the concept of just going through the motions, and then they can create their life. So I hope people can use this time to create their life exactly how they want to see it.
Right. Now would be a good time, because the people have nothing. I mean, I'm sure some people are working, but like you have nothing but time now, whether it's perfecting a craft that you've always wanted to do, or getting to that goal you've always wanted, or do something. Like everyone's allowed to take a moment to, of course, sit there and deal with whatever stresses or anxieties they're feeling, but now take advantage of the fact that you have time.
Right.
I think good idea.
That's it. If people do that, it will be fine. My message is clear.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Thank you for having me.
Do you want to tell the people how to reach you?
Yeah, my Instagram is Chief White Lotus. My flyers, if you're local, my flyers are everywhere. If you go to any store in Westchester, and you will find this flyer. So that's mine. My team has put this flyer everywhere. So this is my center. It's right on Central Avenue. But you can find the Body and Brain page through my Instagram, Chief White Lotus.
Right. And then I guess you can also type it in the comment section in case people need to like see it.
Chief White Lotus.
There we go. Awesome. Thank you, Jonathan.
Thank you, my friend.
Great advice. I'll see you soon.
See you soon.
Okay. So now I want to figure out how to bring in the next person.
Right. I think I need to get out first. Hold on.
There we go. All right. Jomo is up. So let's see. Jomo, add. Just waiting for him to join. Hello. How are you, sir?
Hey, I'm doing great. How are you?
Good. How's your day going?
Doing all right. Today was actually my rest day from working out, which is pretty funny. We're going to have conversations about how workout has changed, and I did nothing today.
Awesome. So, Jomo, tell the people about yourself. Give them a little background.
Hi, everyone. My name is Jomo Marsh. I work in Connecticut at Chelsea Piers in the Gymnastics Center. I've worked there for almost 4 years now, which is really fun, really cool. It's really hard not being in a nice, soft gym with mats everywhere.
Yeah. Jomo is an amazing coach. He has a lot of patience.
I've been told.
All ages.
That's correct. I teach kids from youth, like 4-year-olds, up to the oldest I've had was a 70-year-old man.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, that was a fun one.
Yeah. So, all right, let's get with the questions. How has your workout routine changed since all the gyms are closed? I'm assuming most of the workouts you were able to do would be in the gym, since you tumble, which it's kind of hard to do in the grass. It hurts a bit. So what has changed for you?
My workouts have now, not being able to have a gym is kind of a blessing and a curse, because if you weren't lucky enough to grab weights before we went into a worldwide shortage of weights, it has become increasingly difficult to find dumbbells. So what
Yeah.
I've been working on, and what I encourage a lot of people to work on, is free body movement. It's the best way to build muscle dexterity without possibly damaging your muscle due to movements that you're not prepared for.
Right, and we see that a lot with people who think they know how to do an exercise because they've seen people do it, it's common, and then they do it, and then it's too heavy for them, or their body angles are off, or
Go
and then
up too quick, too fast. Quickest way. So what I've been working on a lot, we were lucky enough to grab some weights. So whenever I do leg days, I'm always barefoot so I can help my plantar flexion and just to help create more support in my ankles, because I do have days where my workouts are completely tumble structured, and I have been posting them on my story for people to see, for people to try out if they would like to. And it is sore on the ankles, but just like anything, the more you do it, the more used to it you get.
right, exactly. Awesome. So next question. What has been your biggest challenge that you faced with these adjustments? I'm guessing part of the last question kind of answered that.
Yeah, well, let's just incorporate my kids in this question, because we haven't really transferred our classes online for gymnastics.
Mm-hmm.
Other parts of the facility have had an easier time, like the fitness area, yoga classes, things that already had kind of an online accessibility option. They
Right.
were much easier to transfer over. But gymnastics is just a really hard sport, and there's not much you can do other than give a list of exercise for people to do.
Yeah. Right.
Now, last week, I had a kid who was just super impatient and asked if we could do a webcam private lesson.
Interesting.
It was hilarious. It's just very hard to, again, try to adjust someone's form when you're not there.
Yeah.
And while some people do say I'm patient, if I run out of patience, I can fix someone. When I'm in this virtual seat, I really can't do anything and have to continue to try and try.
Right.
So that does get a little difficult, and it does get hard when dad comes in the spot and he is putting his hands in the wrong places.
It's like, no, now I got to teach both of you.
Yeah, yeah, so that's a fun challenge.
Aw, yeah, I can imagine any gymnastics, tumbling, cheerleading, any sport that requires you had to like be physically like spotting and touching to spot kids and move them in certain spots positions. It's hard when you're
Hmm.
talking on.
It's a relationship that you build, and a lot of it is trust.
Yeah,
And being virtual, it's kind of hard to give all the trust to your student knowing you're not there.
yeah, yeah. Yeah, and there's so many different skill levels too. Some kids probably aren't. It's probably not safe for them to even do something virtually. So you got to also adjust that.
Right. As the girl I was working with tried to do an aerial in her 6 foot space bedroom,
Yikes.
and it was a no. It was a no for me.
Yeah, that's thumbs down.
Yeah.
Well, on a positive note, then, what is your favorite part about having home workouts, or something that you're enjoying more now?
The options. Now the weather's getting great. You could fit your workout in as anything. A lot of people feel restricted.
Mhm.
Oh, I don't have weights. Oh, I have no resistance bands. Oh, I don't know what to do. Some of the best exercise you could have is just a 30-minute walk around your neighborhood.
Yeah.
You know, some people have their masks on, some people don't. If you feel like your health is a risk, then just put on your mask. There's no problem with that.
Right. Right.
Uh,
People I think are not completely familiar or even know how to do a lot of body like their own body and use that for exercise. They're so accustomed
mhm.
to using machines or weights or having somebody else show them what to do, and they don't understand like the simplest things like push-ups and squats can still go a long way. Like they don't know
Yeah,
their own weight.
they can go a long way. And again, there's just so much variety. I myself have bikes, I have longboards, I've seen people rollerblading. There's just everything that you've acquired over the years
Yeah.
could totally be used right now.
Get
I
creative.
knew I knew a lot of families that had Wii's back in the day. I'm sure they still have them. You can have grandma start bowling, dad can play baseball. You have so many options.
And how convenient now that the weather is getting nicer.
Oh yeah. We have a local celebrity on our street. I kind of wish he was out right now. A very old man who still has a Walkman starts at the bottom of our hill and he dances his way up the hill every day.
That's awesome.
It's great.
Ugh. Yeah, people just got to find stuff to do and just make adjustments and accommodate. You just got to adapt because it's not healthy to just sit still and do nothing. Even if you're in an apartment building and you can't, like, let's say, go onto your front lawn,
Mm-hmm.
go someplace, like, make an attempt to do something in, like, you might not be able to run, but you could do jumping jacks or push-ups in your room, but definitely keep moving. That's important.
Exactly.
So when the gyms do open up, do you think you'll rush right back in? Do you think you're going to do like a mix of maybe half the class sizes or what are you thinking?
I receive a lot of emails that everyone's kind of like getting into their preparations mode for what's about to come. I can't I can't guess at what our conditions are going to be like our first day back. I don't know if we're going to start off with maybe little kids first
Yeah.
instead of older kids. I kind of think like that would be our best idea, and definitely limiting the amount of kids that we have at once. But I would love to rush back in there. I would love to have just like a Purell sprayer at the door and everyone walks underneath it. You know, those sci-fi movies of people walking into a chamber and a mist sprays and you're done. I would love, if we could do that, I would love it.
That would be great. They should have that everywhere, I think.
Yeah, on the way.
What advice do you have for the viewers?
Only thing I have to say is find what you like. There's so much free time. Just find something you like to do. Anything is going to make your life a lot happier if you just find one thing. I see a lot of people are out adopting animals, which is great in this time. You get something out of it, they get something out of it. Everyone's a lot happier. I see people buying sewing machines. I got myself a kalimba. I'm totally into music. We order bocce balls. Anything that you are interested in doing, pursue it. You have the time.
Yeah. And you need it for sanity. You need to do something that makes you happy.
You need it for sanity. And for all my friends that are still working at home, don't feel like you can't call in sick, okay? I'm sorry. My Wi-Fi is down today. Having someone come look at it, nothing I can do. Don't be afraid to take a personal day during this event.
It's needed.
It is needed.
Like what
Our health comes first.
we don't take enough mental health days or pay attention to our mental health enough. We're too busy with our physical, not necessarily emotional or mental state. So, good advice.
Exactly. We've had to shut down our economy for our health. Let's make sure that we're still focused on our health.
Yeah. Well, now you have to. Now you have to take care of it. Thank you, Jomo.
Yeah, thanks for having me on. This was really fun.
Oh, I appreciate it. Thank you. If you want to let the people know how to reach you, feel free to type in the comment section how they can contact you, or if they want to reach out to you for any.
Will do. So this is my normal page and it's private, so I wouldn't follow this. But I do have a free public page where I myself film myself doing my acrobatics, and that's the one where you can totally reach me out on. If you want to get started on rotating, whether it's handstands, cartwheels, front tucks or back tucks, just hit me up on there. I have nothing to do but pass on my knowledge to other people.
Nice.
And I have dropped my tag down at the bottom. At me, friends.
Ooh, parkour.
Emily, keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you. Appreciate it. You keep being awesome.
Will do.
I'll see you soon. Okay, Dwight, I believe you are next. And then, okay. Waiting for Dwight to sign on.
Hey.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm not driving right now. I'm just letting you
Yeah.
know.
Bad influence, Dwight.
No. See, I'm not. I'm gonna turn the camera. My mom is driving. So
okay.
I'm not driving.
Hi, Mom. Thank you for joining us, Dwight.
No problem. How you doing?
Good. Just here.
I hear.
Let me tell you guys before Dwight introduces himself. Dwight is an amazing coach. I've known him for like what, over 10 years probably? Probably more than that. Yeah. He is an amazing gymnastics and tumbling coach. I trust that man with my life. I would you spotted me doing some crazy weird stuff and caught some weird bailouts.
Oh yeah. I've saved you numerous times.
Yep. So, Dwight, tell the people about yourself.
Hey, hi everyone. My name is Dwight Smith. I've been coaching gymnastics coach for many decades.
Decades.
Yeah. Right now, I currently coach over at MGA Gymnastics over in Massapequa, Long Island. Right now, I used to currently coach at the YWCA White Plains. Actually, that's where I actually started my whole gymnastics career. Actually.
Yeah, you were the main show there.
Yeah. They call me the Westchester tumbling guru. So if anyone has issues or problems, they definitely come to me, or anything at all.
Yeah, your team. Everyone loved Dwight. All the his coworkers, the students, the team girls, everybody always went to Dwight. Dwight was definitely the man. You still are the man, just for the why though. Well, the why purposes.
Yeah. Well, again, I love coaching, and that's my passion. That's my livelihood, and also mentoring the kids. Also, that's the one thing. Like right now, I currently miss mentoring the kids.
Yeah.
That's one of the biggest drawbacks of this whole entire thing. Again, I love all my past and current students for the sport.
Right. Yeah, building that connection and working with them it's tricky when you can't go in and see them.
Exactly. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay, so first question. How has your workout routines changed since everything has been closed? Like with your home workouts or your gym workouts, whichever one.
Gym workouts definitely changed tremendously because you're not physically there one-on-one with the student. You're not able to change their body shape if they're doing a certain skill set. You're not able to adjust their bodies and manipulate their bodies to the way it's going to be more optimal for them to do certain things, and also to prevent injuries. Also,
Right.
even a basic, I would say basic for us. And I say for us. But for most people, even a handstand, even a basic handstand, if you're not doing it correctly, you can hurt yourself.
Yeah.
That's not like life threatening, but enough that you can be like, "Ow, that hurt. Did I do something wrong?" kind of thing.
Right. Yeah, even with handstands, I'm always hesitant to like give advice or try to virtually or on messaging explain to somebody what to do or say try this, try that, because if I'm not there and like if they're not as experienced like how you and I would be, they might kick too hard and fall over or twist their arm or land on their head or like the simplest thing could happen doing even half like a seesaw. So I'm always hesitant to do that too.
Exactly. You're absolutely right on that. Absolutely right. And it's just a difficult thing that this whole I gotta say this way, this whole COVID-19 and the unknown, and we don't know when we're gonna get back to the new norm. Is like when we get back in, and we want to spot these kids. We're like, kind of hesitant. Should I touch? Should I get a stick? Should I do something?
Yeah, it's a very hands-on activity, like sport. So it's kind of hard not to spot them, because even if you're in a class and you're or like I guess delegating what to do to like the more advanced kids, that's kind of one thing. But if they're doing something hard, or you have the less experienced children, then you need to like physically move them. Like,
Yeah.
are we supposed to wear gloves? Do we have to wear a mask? Are they gonna be able to breathe if they're running around with something covering their nose?
Yeah. And that's another thing also. Listening to earlier your conversation with two other coaches, that's another thing too. We're going to be doing all this sports and stuff like that. What's going to be the regulation? We're going to have the kids wear masks for doing gymnastics. That's not safe at all.
No, not at all.
No, I'm not going to have a kid. Oh, all right. You're going to go over there. You're going to do a round back handspring, back tuck, and you're going to have to put this mask on. And God forbid they're doing a back handspring and that mask goes right over their face. No.
Oh my God.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. It's not going to be safe.
Yeah, I'm wondering how they're going to do that, especially for the competitive teams, because that's or even in classes, because I guess with teams they can kind of regulate who goes at a time, but I don't know, being in a class, like, it'll obstruct their view. It could like tweak their balance off. I don't know. Maybe they might not be able to breathe if they have breathing issues, and then that's already a very exhausting exercise. And I don't know. It's a lot to think about.
Yeah, absolutely.
How have your personal workout routines changed, or have they primarily been with the gym?
Well, the fact that all the gyms after like basically mid March all have to do Zoom workouts, because we want to keep the kids active, we want to keep the kids engaged. It changed a lot because normally my personal workout is basically going into the gym, lifting weights. Um, like I lift heavy. People will say, "Oh, why do you lift heavy?" Like my day-to-day basis is I go to work, I leave work, I go to the gym, I train myself. I'm lifting over my head 100 pounds. I'm lifting over 225. I'm squatting like 300. It's kind of hard now that whole thing changes is all calisthenics. Everything is calisthenics,
Yeah.
and it's going back to basics for me right now. And even with the kids, even the kids we don't have bars at there. Some kids have bars at home. I don't have a bar in my house.
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm not gonna,
Maybe we don't have the bars and the beams and all that.
exactly. Like, some kids have the trampolines in the backyard. When I'm, at work, yeah, I could get to jump on the trampoline for a little bit, get get a little bit of cardio in. I could jump on the bars, get some pull-ups in, do some leg lifts. You know how that is. It's
Yeah.
just kind of difficult now. Like, I'm not going to tell these kids because I'm not going to want to be liable, and no coach want to be liable whatsoever to
Right.
actually tell the kids, hey, all right, I want you to do a back handspring, because we tell them day to day that they should not be doing any sort of gymnastics at home other than stretching, working on their flexibility and stuff like that. I said, if you do a handstand, make sure there's nothing around. That's every coach has said that to their kid is,
Yeah.
if, we want you to work on your flexibility. We'll give them strength sheets to go home to do. Work your flexibility. We'll be testing on this stuff later.
Right.
Things like that. But it definitely changes. I'm doing the workouts with the kids and I enjoy it. It's something to feel closer, keep that closeness with the kids at this time period right now.
Right. And we've even when we're there working with them, you can't really tell a kid to do certain things at home because God forbid they hurt themselves and then they say, "Oh, coach so and so told me to do this," and then they
Yeah.
sue you or they sue the facility. Because like even if the nicest people, sometimes you never know, like things happen, so you got to be very careful what you advise them to do. So it is hard to kind of give them things to do at home.
Yeah.
I've even had places say, don't tell them to do a push-up, because if they do a push-up wrong and hurt themselves, they could still get you in trouble. So it's like, how do you keep them engaged? How do you, because not all kids have the discipline to work out on their own. And then when they do come back, if they haven't worked out in months and months and months, it's going to take a lot of work getting them back to where they started.
Exactly. You just hit the nail on the head right there. It's absolutely, because there's a difference between things you could do at home and things you could do in the gym.
Yeah.
Honestly, like right now, like the consistency, basically, I should say, uh, right now, I guarantee if any kids go back in the gym, I guarantee they cannot do a kip on the bar right now. They had to trying to retrain their bodies to get back into doing that.
Yeah.
They could probably get on the balance beam and walk the length of the balance beam back and forth, and oh, they'll be fine. But for them to do a flight series or to do a back handspring on a beam, they got to work their way back up again to do that. But you do have some kids who may, I just put my air quote up, maybe having beams at home.
I was saying, if you have the equipment at home, you can still practice your beam drills and your kips and stuff like that, to a certain extent, because I don't assume there's the same padding and mats that they have, unless they have a whole gym at their house.
Well,
But
some of the videos I've seen is that I've seen some of these uh, parents literally rigged up a strap bar in their backyard, and the kids are cranking out Giants kip, free up to handstands. I was like, wow, we're
wow,
doing
yeah,
that now. We're taking it seriously. Just the serious ones are really doing that, doing that extension, and I'm like, I'm impressed. As a
yeah,
coach doing it for so many years, I'm very much impressed that they're doing that. And these little TikTok challenge that they do, I've been seeing kids with air mattresses out there. I'm like, okay,
they're finding ways.
yeah, exactly. The thing is that if the kids love the sport or the coaches that love their doing this, then we're gonna find ways to keep the kids active and interacting with the kids.
Right.
Yeah.
We have to get creative. Now's the time, especially, to get creative, because our stuff is so hands on that you have to find other ways to reach them and keep them engaged and keep them going as best as you can.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Definitely.
Next question.
Go for it.
So I think we kind of already addressed this. What has your biggest challenge been that you've faced with all these adjustments, either for yourself personally or for your gym?
Personally, just not interacting with the kids and not interacting with people. It's hard. I'll be honest with you. It's very, very hard. Uh, honestly, like, even though I'm home, like, my wife is home, I see her every day. I love her to death, but just not to interact with other people is like it's a little hard. It's a little rough.
Mm-hmm.
She said the same thing too. She's like, I try not to kill you today. I said the same thing to her too.
It's like, I love you, but leave me alone for a few minutes.
Exactly. But we find different things to do to keep ourselves active. And honestly, like, it's a curse and a blessing at the same time. It's, as people say in the beginning of this whole thing, saying that divorce rate's going to be going up, that people may lose their job. Honestly, this is a good time for parents to actually get closer to their kids, to know what their kids about, because us as coaches, we see these kids more than the parents see their own kids.
Yeah.
And it's so funny seeing some of these memes saying, like, man, you told me my kid was bad, and I actually see it firsthand. My kid
I've seen a lot of those. They're like, a lot of people are learning that the teacher wasn't the problem.
Exactly. So hopefully that these parents will appreciate what we do as coaches and teachers, daycare workers. You know, even though some of us, they don't think of us essential workers, but we keep their kids in line.
Yeah.
We again go back to what I said in the beginning. We mentor their kids. Like, we're trying to, we teach their kids right from wrong. We're helping them parent their kids. Again, it's been said time and time again that it takes a village to raise a child.
Yes.
And we're part of that village. We're trying to help you raise your child. We're trying to teach a kid right from wrong. I have students that have their own families, that they have their own kids, and they come back and they say, hey, this was the guy who coached me. He's the one who taught me to steer me on the right path. So things like that.
Yeah, you're absolutely. A lot of the time, coaches are honestly more of the role model or the father or mother figure, whatever you want to call it. They teach the kids sometimes more life lessons and discipline and respect than the own parents do. And I've had kids that I've seen, if their parents are involved or not, whether it's their nanny or whoever, like the way they are with me versus their nanny or their parents, like, completely different. There's not in a good way all the time.
Absolutely.
Are better sometimes with the coach than they are with their people at home. The respect level, the way they interact, their tone, everything.
Hey, listen, how many times have a kid accidentally open their mouth and says, instead of saying Emily, Mom? I have kids who accidentally call me Dad.
I've had that happen times actually.
Yeah, yeah. So again, it's just the you know, it's again to go back to the say it's good or bad. It's rough. It's like you have good people in your life, you have bad people in your life, but the good and the bad people in your life helps you balance and helps you become the person who you are today.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
Very
So
true.
I hope that answers your question there.
It does.
All
It's very
right.
good input too. Next question is, what has your favorite part of your home workouts been, or these changes for you?
Oh, honestly, it's like this: the consistency. It means that I personally had to say, I can't say, when you go to work, you come home, you like, I don't want to work out. Now, I can say I have to do this workout. I want to do this workout. So it actually helps me myself personally to be a little bit more healthier, and it helps the interaction with the kids and the family to actually the parents to actually jump in on the workouts too with me. I have
It's,
parents who like, yeah, I'm not. I didn't want to work out today, but I say, hey, join your kids. Have your kids, come in with the kids and join the workout. And they've been doing it. I get all these parents commenting on my workout saying, "Oh man, I almost died in that workout, but it was so good." I said, "Me too."
yeah, all of us here.
Yeah, exactly.
So
So
everyone's kind of forcing each other to have to like hold accountability and work out. You have to be there to work out with them, and then they got to work out with you, and then everyone's kind of helping each other with this.
yeah, but also, it also helps you, helps all of us basically because they're saying that this virus attacks the immune system for people who has low immune system. Hey, we're working out. We're building our immune system up. Again,
Yeah,
being a gymnastics coach, I also was a personal trainer. And one of the thing is, people do have to understand is that you're not working out for you. That's what you're not. That's not what you're doing. You're working out to add more time on your lifespan.
yeah.
Because everyone could look at me right now and they could probably try to guess how old I am. No one could guess my real age at all.
Nope, not at all.
No,
I
exactly.
told me like a million times.
Exactly. If anyone wants to comment down below how old they think I am,
Yeah,
go
you guys
for it.
feel free
Go,
to try this and see how
go
old.
for it. Yeah. So,
A lot. I think a good thing about this is people are, I guess, getting more health conscious, and it's kind of frustrating in one end to say we've been trying to get people on that type of to understand the importance of physical, emotional, mental health as far as working out and diet and everything. But then some people they get into it for a while, then they don't, or they don't get into it at all, or whatever. 37, old, don't even old.
I like
um,
old. Thanks, Rob.
So now it's nice that people are getting into it and understanding the importance of it. And I just hope that they stick to it after this is all over. They don't go back to their normal routines.
Yeah, everyone says bad habits are good to is not easy to break, and honestly, it's true. But you know what? This whole thing actually helps everyone force them to break bad habits to create good habits, and that's a good thing.
Yeah.
So it helped me create. I didn't have a lot of bad habits, but it's helped me create new good habits that I could actually, when we ever come back into the gym, it's easier to enforce
Right.
to the students, and even to like the patrons, like the parents too. Like, hey, I got a good workout. If you guys want to do something, let's do it together.
Right. Nice. I agree. Next question. Oh, did anybody guess your age, by the way? I saw a few guesses.
I said a few. I see a few guesses. Um, I think Alpha Fitness is close, maybe.
Oh, man.
Yeah. I'll tell you my age at the end of this whole thing.
Good idea. Good idea. Um, so then when the gyms do open back up, either for work or regular gyms, do you feel like you're going to jump right back in there? Are you going to kind of do half and half with like easing your way into it? What are your thoughts on that?
Actually, as most gyms across the nation would love to say, they like to jump back in full force, but we can't do that. Again, we gotta, because of the CDC and the health department and stuff like that. We had to follow a few guidelines and stuff like that. So for the gyms, I would say that right now the protocol that they have so far, that again I've received a lot of emails, seen a lot of comments. They're wanting to say they want to start with the upper levels first. They basically start with the teen girls first, and then work their way backwards. Even though in the gymnastics facility, the recreational is the biggest part,
Yeah.
and the preschool and stuff like that. Yeah, as you know, I would definitely say that starting with the team is probably more beneficial just to get those kids in, because again you don't have to do a lot of hands-on with the team, and again we got to space ourselves out. We got to follow the guidelines of again 6 feet apart, basically, so and actually have like stations set up. Honestly, like if we need to put gloves on or we need to spot the kids, and then we may need to wash our hands right after, we may have to do that. But honestly, if we could open up in the next like week or so, because again we are not even in phase one as of yet
Yeah.
for New York, then it would love to jump in full hand. But again, we got to follow these guidelines first until everything's back to regular.
Right.
It is
Right.
it's difficult. It's difficult, and it's gonna be hard for coaches like us that some of us are hands-on, some of us are verbal spotters. It's just gonna be very hard for us to just say, "Hey, let's just get right back into it."
Yeah. I mean, even as coaches, I'm still going to be hesitant. I'm sure other people feel this way too. You'll still be hesitant to even want to spot the kid. Like you want to because you know that that's what they need, but then you're like, I'm getting germs on me now. Now you're gonna be worrying and thinking about so many other things, and I could see that being a distraction even for the coaches sometimes, and maybe even for the kids. Like if they're worried about you touching them, or you're worried about you touching them, and that might interfere with how you're giving the lesson or how they're performing as an athlete because they're thinking about something else they're distracted that they shouldn't be.
Yeah. Again, it's going to be real difficult coming back into it. They're asking coaches. It's going to be hard for even coaches to us to actually wear masks and coach, because we're going to be like this the whole entire time. Again,
Yeah.
could you hear me? Could you understand what I'm saying?
And you're
You
like,
may
oh, I
have
thought
that.
you said to do a back talk, and then they do a full, and then you're like, oh my god.
Yeah, and, you do have those kids who are hard of hearing, who you have kids who,
Mm-hmm.
on a serious note, that has ear like an ear implant or something like that, hearing aid or something like that,
Mm-hmm.
that depends on reading your lips.
Yes.
So
Yes.
that's gonna be a little difficult thing too.
All
But
very good points, but
yeah,
time will tell.
yeah, time will tell. Again, this thing, as some people say, and reluctantly, if we want to say it this way, it's gonna blow over as fast as it comes in, as fast as it comes back and leaves us, and it may be the new norm. It may be something that we have to adapt to our new livelihood, like the regular flu
Right.
virus. So again, gotta
We'll
keep
see.
ourselves in shape, and keep the immune system up.
Yeah, I mean, that's all. No matter what they say, the only thing you can really do is make sure that you're healthy and you try to just be as prepared as you can be.
Yeah, and
Got a warning. I'm getting a warning from Instagram that I have 1 minute and 22 seconds remaining to be live. So what I'm going to do for everyone who's still on is I will clear this up, save it, and then go live again because we still have other people who are going to go. So for those of you who haven't gone yet, just go back onto my next live after I sign off of this one, and we'll pick up from there. How does that?
yeah,
Is it good? Does everyone understand what I'm saying? Just type in the comment section if you get it. I believe we have 3 people up next, and then we should be done. So Dwight, before I got 50 seconds, you got any quick advice that you want to give really, really fast?
hey, when you're out in public, wear your mask, and again, wash your hands, and make sure you moisturize too, because I know everyone's hands are a little chappy right now. And
Yep.
and also, yeah, I just turned 39, but thank you guys. I'm not 40, not yet, 39.
Almost.
But listen, yeah, again, thanks you for having me on, and listen, I love you. You take care.
Love you.
All right.
Thank you for
All right.
coming. Be
No
safe.
problem. You too. Bye.
Moments. I'm going to sign back on.